Okay, with the creative team of White Shadow, we have Gloria, who's the writer director, and we have Darren. You're the composer of the film, right?
That is right. Yep.
So, feature film from Singapore. Great job, guys. You like Gloria. I guess it goes without saying, like an independent feature film is not easy to make.
Yeah, it is not easy, and it's, I think, also triply tough in Singapore. So, but thank you for having us and selecting our film.
So, when did you write the script, the screenplay for this film?
I first wrote the script in 2021, right? So we're coming out of COVID and, for sanity and, not very many places to go. So I was thinking around in the story and yeah, finally we managed to make it in 2024.
So, like, when you wrote it, you were like, you kind of knew that you were going to direct it, that you're going to make this into a feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your experience making films before this one?
I made my first feature that was 20 years ago and using my own resources. So, and then after that, I'm busy working, making back my money, my savings. And yeah, I'm privileged to have the ability and the chance and also the resources to make another one again with the help
So,
of wonderful people like Darren and very supportive crew around me. Yeah.
so where did this story come from? So this person has a terminal illness. They have so much time to live. So there's almost like a time clock in the film, and then they want to feel a love. I guess they want to feel absolute love. I guess that's the premise, right?
Yes, the main lead, Ren Jie, she's suddenly told that, time's up, and then, yeah, she decided that she has to make a last ditch for that very important person in her heart, which she has not told her at all. Yeah.
Okay, so talk about like so when did Darren come into the film? After it was like you're in post production, like what was the process, Darren, when you first saw the film?
Mhm. Well, I very fortunately came on board extremely early in the process.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe the very first conversation that I had with Gloria was when there was a script, but there wasn't a frame of film that was shot. And it's always a joy for a composer to be able to come on board that early because I was able to, get a sense of what the film was like at script stage, which is a good way into Gloria's head and sort of that space in which she was creating the film. And then I think throughout the process I was being sent rehearsal videos
Oh,
in a closed
wow.
room, which is great. And
Yeah.
then they shot the film, and I finally was brought on board in full to flesh out the score when the film was cut together. But I think, I mean, a lot of the thematic material, a lot of the palette was formed actually even before a single frame of film was shot, or like in some very early stage. Um, yeah, I think there was a sizzle reel made up of some shots
Yeah.
from the shoot that was pieced together, and that was a good way into finding the language and the palette of the film, which then could be expanded when the film was assembled and finally put together. So yeah, that was how it
Because
started for
usually,
me.
like obviously, like from most experience, I'm assuming that you just come in post production. Like you weren't, they just say, here's the film, like here's a rough cut of the film. What can you do?
Yeah, most of the time for
Yeah.
composers that is the case. But I think, for this film, I mean, and massive props to Gloria for getting me on board that early, because it's a real privilege. There's so much you can do, and there's so much you can, very subtly shape by being, on board that early as a composer. Yeah.
So Gloria? How did you and Darren meet?
I was working with a conductor I mean, I hold a full-time job, right? As with all independent filmmakers, you have to have a full-time job, right? And more so in Singapore. Then yeah, it was a referral from this collaborator that I met at work. He's a conductor, and he passed me Darren's contact, and we hook up and we chat, and we can vibe together, and yeah. And you know how small Singapore is. If you don't already know, right? We are like 2 degrees of separation, right? In the world, maybe it's like now it's 5 because of internet and all that, right? Singapore is like this little dot. And lo and behold, I realized that I know Darren's yeah, one of his family members, and he was my senior in my ex workplace. So yeah.
Yeah, my dad. And I only found out quite late in the process as well, I think. Um by which time most of the score was done, and then all of a sudden my dad was like, by the way, um I was talking to him about the work that I was doing, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's this director called Gloria that I'm working with, and he was like, I know Gloria.
A small world. I guess
Yeah.
how is the independent film scene in Singapore? Like grabbing the crew, and is there a pretty prominent scene of like independent filmmakers?
No, it's not prominent at all. In Singapore, it's very, very expensive and it's very difficult. So independent crew, freelance crew, mostly they make commercial films or
Mhm.
commercials for that
Yeah.
matter. Yeah. So features are very hard and very little to come by.
Well, talk to me about like kind of setting up the film. Like, talk to me about your casting. Where did you find your cast?
Um, um, so it's all a vicious cycle, right? Because we don't have very many products and all that, so our actors and all that don't have that very many opportunities to act and gain experience for the camera, for the lens, and they're experiencing or learning how to do very nuanced and very restrained sort of an acting. Plus, predominantly in Singapore, our language of instruction and also our daily conversation is pretty much in English. So, and for White Shadow, I typically wanted it specifically to have it articulated in very proper Mandarin, because I wanted it to be a little bit poetic, as one of the audience member mentioned that the writing it's a bit novelish and all that, right? So that was with all the intention to execute it that way, and it was very, very difficult to find actors in Singapore. So I casted for actually very long, for about 6 months before I found Kai Ting, and the main character is acted by Kelly. I met her through an audition, and I had to fly her in from Taiwan into Singapore to do this film.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, because it's a sensitive subject, I guess, right? The
Mm.
film itself. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, it's like it's a sensitive, meaning that it's LGBT. It's like two girls, like romance. It's like, I don't know, like it's. I'm
Mm.
assuming that it's not like how is the LGBT community in Singapore?
Ah, right. Um, the community is okay. I mean, it's fairly open and they're quite chill. But it's just for me, it's not so much the LGBTQ context, right? And
Yeah.
or the content. It's the way I would like the actors to execute and to deliver for the film. Very nuanced, very restrained, yeah, and subtle, right? And that's the style and the treatment of the entire film. And I think that is quite maybe not so widely available, the actors in Singapore, perhaps. Yeah.
Well, the lead actor, especially, like she's the key to your film, right? Like you have a lot of long shots in the film, a lot of like intimate scenes. Like so, she's important. Like let's just say, like if she does, if her performance doesn't work, the film doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. So she carries the film.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it took a long time to find someone who trusts the story, trusts the process, trusts me, and also herself. She's willing to be vulnerable, in front of the camera, in front of everyone, and for the story. And I think that is very precious, and I'm very, very grateful to find Kelly as well as Jauna to be able to bring these two characters and the story to life, to screen.
Okay, so tell me about the rest, like your cinematographer, the rest of the crew. Did you like bringing your crew together for the film?
Our cinematographer, Tex Young, he says his apologies. He wanted to join us tonight, but he's on another shoot. Right. And like also one of the audience feedback, right? They all have much praise for the cinematography, and also
Yeah.
several people who is seeing the film in Singapore too. Um, he's a friend that I've known many, many years ago, but I didn't have a chance to work with him. And then finally, when I did, I caught up with him, and he's extremely, extremely supportive. He brought along crew that understood what indie filmmaking was going to be, right? So everyone is with that came on board with that same expectations, and everyone was so giving, right? So even the key Gav, he's been with us for some of our grading sessions, audio posts. You come in and watch when we were testing the film, the DCP copy in a theater. He wanted to come along, right? And all these are over and beyond what he supposed to do, right? Supposed to do and all that. Yeah. So everybody's very vested, and yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful crew.
Did you have like a shot list? Did you like storyboard things? How
I
did you
didn't
prepare?
storyboard it per se. Yeah, I didn't storyboard it, but I had shortlist planned. I had references. So in my script during rehearsals and all that, I already have shortlist in mind. When I rehearse with shots. So I record and I play back, and then I try out my angles and things like this. So, and I share it with the DP, I share it with Darren, I share it with whoever is on board at that time. Yeah.
So then tell me about the locations, like a lot of obviously a lot of inside indoor, like the apartment or the house, the
Mm.
office, and then you have a lot of outside locations as well.
Mm.
I'm assuming you just grabbed like the outside locations, but maybe on the fly. But basically, I don't know how it is in Singapore. But
Ah,
talk to me about
right.
like doing all the outside locations.
No, on the contrary, the locations were selected with very much effort.
Yeah,
Because when I wrote the script, I wanted the outdoor locations to be liminal spaces. So visually, environmentally, it reflects the in between, the crossroad of the characters, right?
yeah,
They're all at the crossroads. So it's liminal spaces, it's like in the middle of nowhere and all that. So that's why they have this very intimate scene talking about will you not be my girlfriend, underneath the train tracks, right, where it's like whole row of lampposts,
yeah. It's a
and
beautiful
they,
shot. Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. It's a beautiful shot, like in the train tracks. Yeah,
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 yeah. So these locations were selected, especially. So we spent 3 weeks scouting, or actually more. We were like, driving around, and and I really wanted to portray the urban night scenes of Singapore, which I feel it's very romantic. It's very pretty, Yeah, and that wide shot of the train passing by, and then you see Kai Ting standing in the middle of the highway, thinking about the accident and all that with the reflection and all this. Yeah, we went train scouting throughout the island.
well, you even
Mm.
got the shot where she's walking down like in the busy street, right? Uh, so there's a lot
Mm.
of people, a lot of cars, a lot of things passing by. I guess that's sort of almost like the theme, right? Like life is fast. She doesn't have
Yeah,
much time, and everybody's going fast, right?
yes. Yeah, things
And
are always moving. Nobody's stopping for nobody.
nobody's
And
stopping for anybody. Everybody's going
yeah.
trying to get from one place to the other as fast as they can.
Yeah, and especially in Singapore where we're so small and we're just zooming, 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 and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like that basically everywhere in the
yeah,
urban city, right? So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, work and
That's
ever like that. So okay, so then you like, what about the interior, like the apartments, and like where did you shoot that?
the two interiors, both the characters' houses, I shot it borrowing the apartments from a friend's family and friend.
Yeah.
We selected it also carefully with the colors in mind because I'm very mindful and I really want the color palette for this film to be of a certain shade and tone. So if you realize it is fairly bluish and grayish and desaturated, their wardrobe are carefully arranged that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, the throws on a cushion, the bed sheets and all that. They are in shades of blues and grays and all that. Yeah. And even the poster, right? It's white and gray.
All right, so talk about you got the film done. Congratulations, and then so how did you kind of collaborate with Darren? So bring Darren back in. Did you like did you have a certain idea how much music you wanted, where you wanted the music, like certain like because you're kind of setting the tone, I guess, with the music.
Mm. Actually, I don't have that much concrete idea about the music. So I really welcome Darren's inputs, right? Because when I was writing it myself and I was like directing and then doing the shots and all that, everything is very, very visual. But for this film, all I know is that I think it's going to be very, very quiet. It's not much dialogue. So when Darren came in, it was from, a new pair of eyes and it's another level. That's why also I love filmmaking because everybody bring in their expertise
Yeah.
and their ideas and then uh,
So Darren, how did you work from? You work from the themes of the film, and like how do you kind of compose music, I guess, in a general sense?
Yeah, I mean, I should probably start by saying that I enjoy every moment of this process. It was just, it was so open, and it was like, the chats that I've had with Gloria all throughout were really nice, were really inspiring as well, which is always great. I think musically, as Gloria was saying, we were sort of trying to tread the line between, you know, being almost at the edge of silence, but also having the maximum amount of emotional impact with every piece of music that we have. And so that was, that was the one of the biggest challenges, but also one of the things that made this whole process so much fun because from a sonic point of view, I was playing around with things like just lightening up every possible sound that you could find, with like guitars, for example. We weren't plucking anything, we weren't strumming, we were bowing them. A lot of the more textural, luminous sounds that you hear in the background, they were formed out of resonances or echoes that were processed and that were isolated from like pianos. And even the piano itself, we were a lot of so Beatrice, who was our pianist, was playing a lot of the material on this thing called the una corda on the piano, which is a pedal that allows you to essentially play on just one third of the strings that are within the instrument. So it's really soft, it's really hushed. But and it sort of, I suppose it comes in line with the whole idea of because one of the through lines, the sort of narrative through lines of this film is that of secrets, and so a lot of the music is very hushed, and that was a lot of fun because it does kind of, the softer you play things, the more you reel people in, and the more um the details of the sound starts sort of popping out and becoming prominent. So yeah, that was essentially how
Yeah.
it came to be.
So did you like so what in terms of the music itself? How did you kind of compose it?
So I started with the piano. And actually, I'm someone, funny enough, who does not write for piano that often. I try to sort of rely on other forces if I can, but on this occasion, there is something quite pure about the sound of the piano and about the sound of this specific piano which we used that was donated to the National Film and Television School by Ryuichi Sakamoto. There's something very pure about it. So I started writing on that, and I came up with a sort of with a melody that tracks the relationship between the two characters in the film. So you might notice that it
Yeah.
replays itself, but each time recontextualized a little bit, each time just tracking the narrative and following the ups and downs of that relationship. So that was the central sort of thematic idea upon which everything else was
Did you
fleshed.
have you composed a feature film before this one?
Yes, mostly documentaries.
Okay.
So this was a nice sort of foray into drama.
Narrative, yeah.
But prior to this, I was at the National Film and Television School here in the UK. And we were doing it was a great environment because we were exposed to all sorts of different genres, from fiction to documentaries to animation to science and natural history. So yeah, this was a nice kind of project to explore intimate dramatic writing in a way
Well,
that yeah,
no,
it's
I'm saying excellent job. Like
thank you.
like you're on your way as a composer for sure. So I'm assuming that's what you want to do with your life and compose movies.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sort of I'm very much fully uh in the rabbit hole.
You're working on another project right now.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So Gloria, the film's done, and so you're in post production. You're like in distribution now. How does it feel? Like I know you've done features in the past, but how's this one feel to get it done?
It feels great. The post-production took a little bit longer than I expected, right? But yeah, I really, really enjoy the post-production process, going in to do coloring, grading and sound mixing, and then, working with Darren on the weekends because time difference is in UK, I'm in
Yeah.
Singapore and all that. It's wonderful. I don't feel that it's long. I don't, yeah, I really enjoyed it. So now that it's done, I'm sending it to festivals, hoping that more people get to watch it. And I love listening to their feedback. Actually, what you did, what you're doing is wonderful. Darren and I were just chatting, right? And we don't think we see festivals sending feedback in video forms to the filmmakers. And I sent the video to the cinematographer, right? Dave just now, and he says,
Yeah.
"Wow, it's very interesting for us to listen to feedback from audience who are not for this film particularly not Mandarin speaking." And yeah, I wanted also to I reminded myself to want to tell you, Matthew, that yeah, thanks for doing this. It's a lot of work, right? You have to
Yeah.
record it, and then you have
Yeah.
to edit it, and then you send each filmmakers and all that. But please know that it is wonderful, wonderful gift and for a filmmaker and the team. So please continue doing that.
No, well, we would. That's what we do. So I appreciate what your kind words and saying that. It's yeah, it is a little bit of work, but it's I think it's what the filmmakers want. Well, most of them at least. But
Right,
yeah, and it's
right.
so good. I'm so
Yeah,
good to hear because, like you said, I'm in Toronto, Darren's in UK, you're in Singapore. We're like in three different avenues of the world,
yeah.
and basically we're talking about a story, right? We're talking about the same emotions in the story, and same with the audience, right? Like you got. It doesn't matter what language you're speaking or what country it's from. The audience resonated to your film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, really precious. Please continue to do what you're doing.
On that note, what do you guys? I'm assuming you're going to make another film, Gloria.
Yes, I am. I am in the prepping stage for my next film. For this, I'm looking to shoot not only in Singapore but in an overseas location. And yeah, I hope that in Chinese, right, making film because you need so many things to fall in place, right? Yeah, we say that it's really a 天时地利人和 endeavor, you know, all the ducks have to line up, the
Mm,
stars have to line, everything.
yeah,
So I hope I can pull off another one.
I'm sure you will. On
Thank you
that
so
note,
much.
yeah, thank you so much for your time. Let's talk again when your next film is made. Darren, keep composing. You're on your way. I'm going to keep an eye on you. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, and good luck with everything, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
yours as
having us,
well.
Matthew. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.